can stand right here. Sorry.
Hey, you're in the middle? It's like being in a river.
It's cool.
Now! What do we want? When do we want it? Now!
That's not really. Like a river coat, man. No. Are you here? Oh, yeah, I don't see that. Game on geography.
I'm not sure that's how you want to get the message. Oh my God! I hope you get on the news.
People must just think I'm such a dummy. No.
I'm being schooled to school.
out today. I have a few words to say, but before I do that, can I just say, can any of the federal candidates who are going to be addressing us today, if you could please make your way over here to stand by the banner, please. So any of the federal candidates who we have been in contact with and have been asked to speak, can you please come over here? Thank you so much. All right. The provincial government of Newfoundland and Labrador has a secret and they don't want you to know. But we will not stand for that. Government has been working in secret for the past 10 months to develop a garbage burning plant in Lewisport. Shame is right. They plan to import garbage from Europe to burn on the island of Newfoundland and Labrador. We will ask the government question after question about this development, and we will not back down. You wronged us when you did not act in the 1950s, when precise measurements of CO2 confirmed its rise in the atmosphere and its potential to create environmental harm. You wronged us when you did not act in the 80s, when we saw the first sharp rises in global temperature. You wronged us in the late 80s and early 90s, when our provincial government saw the human damage that caused the environmental catastrophe that led to the collapse of our cod stocks. You wronged us when you did not act in 1990 when a UN report warned against a temperature rise of 2 degrees within 35 years. You wronged us when you did not act in 2001 when NASA showed you satellite image of glaciers shrinking. You wronged us when you did not act in 2008 when the link between climate change and refugees became apparent. You wronged us when you did not act in 2010 when disasters like the BP Deepwater Horizon oil spills were regularly happening. You wronged us in 2016 by not committing to the Paris Agreement. You wronged us a year ago when you did not act to Greta Thunberg's beginning of the movement and her striking. And you wronged us last year when we stood here on 3 separate occasions and got no action. Do not wrong us again with platitudes. This time, take real action, or remember, we will not forgive you. Adults, you have had 50 years to take responsibility for your lack of action. You have known and you have ignored. We will not allow you to continue to wrong us. In the words of Greta Thunberg, the eyes of the future generation are upon you. We should not be forced to choose to skip classes and work to fight about our future. This is not fair. We should not have to fight. We don't want to fight for our future, but you have given us no choice. Now, more than ever, we need political representatives who represent us and our values and not corporations. We need you to vote for candidates. We need you to vote. 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 We need you to vote for candidates who will make meaningful change to the climate crisis we are facing. We must demand change. We must ask the hard questions, and we must pay closer attention than ever before. We are finished forgiving. I'm 15 years old and I cannot vote, but there is much that I can and will do. I ask for you all to do it with me and all the young people who are here protesting today. So, will we continue to engage with politics and institutions? Yes, we will! Will we ensure that we elect representatives and a government that promises direct action? Yes, we will! Will we continue to watch them and their decisions closely? Yes, we will! Will we continue to call them out when they are actively harming our homes?
not only the young people here in Newfoundland and Labrador, but young people all over the world who have done this to make attention, draw attention and force a reconciliation and an encounter with government officials to make sure that they do listen. And thank you for the leadership that you've shown here today and the thousands of people that you brought along with you. So that's something that's very important. You know, we have a government that, when they got into office 4 years ago, adopted Harper's climate goals and hasn't even put in place policies to keep them. So we're not happy with that. I want to assure you that the new Democratic Party is fully committed to the 1.5 degree limit on the growth in our world temperature. That has to happen, and we have aggressive policies in place that are going to ensure that we get there. And there's lots of stuff in our platform that underscores that. But I want to assure you of this, that we, along with you, demand that we must have climate justice. We must have also a just transition to a carbon-free economy. We want to make a just transition, but we want to ensure that people are not harmed by this transition, and that has to be an important part of the platform. But we also want social justice. We need to ensure that we have a greater move to equality in this country, and we've always stood for that, and we always will. But I also want to assure you of this, that we can actually do this together, but we can't do it without you. And so don't give up. What you're doing is right. It needs the support of everybody, and don't give up, because if you do give up, it won't happen. But it can be done, and we can do it together.
Representative from the Green Party in the Avalon riding, Greg Malone.
Thank you. Well, I am here because of you. I was waiting for someone younger and someone smarter, but no, that's not good enough. Everyone, old and young, has to do absolutely everything they can to combat the climate crisis. So that's why I decided to run for the Green Party with Elizabeth May, because the Green Party puts the climate crisis at the top of their agenda. You know that is the #1 issue for Greens globally, worldwide. And the Green Party gets it. And the Green Party does not take corporate money. They don't take corporate money, so they are free to act on the climate crisis. You know, and I know, with every cell of our body, that this is the time to act. We know that. We've left it too long already. We were trying to keep the temperature below 1.5. We're not going to do that. It's going to go up to 1.5. But it cannot go up to 2 degrees, because that is climate chaos. The Greens have a plan for that. Nationally, provincially, globally, the Greens have a plan to transition from the fossil fuel economy to a renewable, sustainable, green economy. That's where we have to go. That's where we have to go. There's only one future if you're a human being, for God's sake. It's a green future. This is the most important election of our lives. Now you have the power. You can vote to send the strongest possible message to Ottawa that you want the strongest, clearest action on climate change. Vote green. They get it. That's the vote for climate action change. Green. That's why I'm here. Thank you.
All right. I would like to say, before we continue with this, that the goal of this is to listen attentively. We cannot make progress if we refuse to listen to people. So just please keep that in mind. That's like a very important part of moving forward with this super important movement. Next we have the incumbent for St. John's East, the Liberal representative, Nick Whalen.
Thank you, Alice. Just to make a quick correction, our party brought in the 1.5 degrees by signing the Paris Accord. Our party brought in a price on pollution, so pollution won't be free. I have fought my whole life since 1990 when the first accord came out to say about the 2-degree rise and what would happen. And here we are now with a party that has fought for you for 4 years and done so much. 44 new measures. What are we doing in the future? We're going to renovate 1.5 million houses. We are committed to net zero by 2050. We are committed to protecting 30% of our oceans and 30% of our land. We have a plan that is going to work, and we're going to get there, but only together. Think of a rope and people pulling. If 2 pull on one side and 3 pull on the other, it only goes a little. All 5 have to pull on the same side for this to work. We need to hitch our plan, that rope, to climate change and pull. The choice is clear. If you don't vote Liberal in this election, you will not get the change you want. Vote for us. Help us achieve this. Push us, but push with us.
Who is the representative for the NDP in St. John's South. Thank you.
So this is all very overwhelming, I have to say. In 1968, I was on my first march ever, and I was protesting then because they were dropping and detonating atomic bombs in the Pacific Ocean. So we all went down to the United States consulate and protested down there on Forest Range. So, you know, it doesn't take much to do the math, 50 years. Like, we didn't have enough of a voice, but you do. You have such a powerful voice. The major problem in our party, and not in our party, in our country, is that it has always been about maximizing corporate wealth. We don't care about corporate wealth. We are not a corporation. We are for the people of our country, and our province, and our city. When I was a counselor in Pooch Cove, we couldn't drink the water because it was brown. This was water that was put in for us and cost Pooch Cove a lot of money. We couldn't drink it. I have had a long time fighting, but now it's time for me to sit down in the House of Parliament and start making some new laws. Laws that make it illegal, that will be accountable, which will be monitored, which will be watched for, so that if you become a polluter, when you are the cause, when you're the upstream of the problem, you will be very seriously sanctioned for that. We have to do it now. I've been waiting 50 years for all of this to happen, and so thank you. Join the new Democratic Party for Youth, and we will make it happen. We do stand a chance.
Thank you. Next up, we have the Conservative candidate from St. John's South, Jerry Martin.
Not Jerry, she had it wrong again. I was here protesting like you guys 40 years ago. We had a very, very bad tragedy when I was living in Residency University, and we had this many people out. We protested, and we had the skywalks built. I know for a fact that when we work together, there's a lot of things that we can get done. I don't even think that all the solutions have even been found yet, and I think a lot of it is going to come from you guys. I am very lucky because I am not a politician. I've been working in the nonprofit sector for 25 years. I think working collectively, we're going to be able to find the answers. I know that a lot of things that are directly in front of us that we need to start reducing ourselves. Like, there's so many things that we can do, but we have to listen first. It's the first time in our lives that all of us, of all different ages, are on the same page and we're pulling on the same oar. The Conservative government understands that, and we will get there.
We now enter Stage 3 to vote Bell, a representative from the NDP party. It doesn't come off. Good to know. We're not here for politics as usual. We are here because a small number of powerful, moneyed interests protect and perpetuate a broken system for their own fleeting financial gain. A broken system that feeds on our labor, that breaks our backs and our spirits, fractures our communities, and threatens the viability of our habitat. We are here because if we leave in power those who got us here and those who benefit, we will not survive. We must raise our voices in places they were never meant to be, among people, comfortable, powerful people who would rather not hear them. We must remind them of the social and the human cost of their wealth. Canada is warming at 2 times the global rate, and northern communities will bear this burden first and most deeply. Around the world, ordinary working people continue to suffer and die while the rich protect themselves for as long as their money will allow them. This will continue to happen unless we stop them. We need to take away their power like they've taken away our hope and our optimism. If you are, please come up. Next we have a representative from the Green Party, David Peters.
Thank you very much, Alice. What a wonderful sight this is to see today at St. John's. Thank you for coming out. Thank you. You guys can go on greenparty.ca and get the full platform. I'll give you one little tidbit that I think you'll be happy with. We propose in the platform a green government of Canada would ban the sale of internal combustion engines by 2030 in this country. Can we do that? I want to thank the organizers and thank you for coming. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak to you today. This is not a campaign speech per se, because this is a protest about climate change. It's a nonpartisan issue. It's a nonpartisan issue. We've heard them all. We've heard them all, right? Oil will be around for decades to come. So many of our consumer products are made from plastic, so you should feel guilty, right? It's unreasonable to expect that we should leave it in the ground. You've heard that, haven't you? As if we're passive pawns, as if that's the only possible outcome, as if that's preordained. It's not preordained. What they tell you in an intimidating fashion is to wait. Climate change is important to the Liberals and Conservatives. but we have to wait. A lot of you are probably too young to remember. Some of you heard about him in high school history. The Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King heard a lot of times from white legislators in the South in the 1960s, wait, when he was advocating for civil rights for African American people that they were long denied. Yeah? And what Martin Luther King said, you ought to say, what we're saying, is when they say wait, it usually means never. Yeah? Time for waiting's over, people. The Green
People, come on, come out to your school, your work, your house. Take our future back. If we pull it all together now, maybe we can turn this ship around. Take our future back.
was gloriously beautiful, yet devastatingly cruel. She conceived life as well as death. Her magnitude and power were unmatched by all that surrounded her. She was rare and extraordinary compared to others like her. She was elegant and natural, but was ultimately transformed to be inorganic and lifeless. She was our home, where an abundance of different organisms thrived, learned, played, and battled. Creating equality for all with strength, we evolved together in her beauty. Over time, we helped shape her, for better or for worse. Carving out her body, we removed roots of her children with our big machinery and replaced them with large factories. Robbing her bloodstream, we emptied her oceans and rivers through our pollution and overconsumption. Slaughtering her children, we butchered our fellow animals for all our personal profit. Clogging her lungs, we turned the
Party has a plan to get us to net 60% reduction in greenhouse gas emissions by 2030, not 45. Vote green. Thank you.
Next, we have our incumbent from St. John South, the Liberal Seamus O'Regan.
A price on pollution, a climate action rebate, a ban on single-use plastics, tax-free loans for home retrofits, net zero for Canada by 2050, investment in clean tech business, more public transit, protecting more of our environment, 25% of our land and our ocean, electric vehicle subsidies, e-vehicle charging networks throughout our province, clean fuel standards, money for clean energy projects. I did not come here to talk to you. I came here to listen to you. And I want to keep listening, and I want you to stay passionate, and I want you to demand more from all of us. And let's not wait any longer. Demand action now. Thank you.
For speaking here today. We are now going to do an activity, so I want to get everyone to take out their cell phones. All right? So we're going to write an email. Yeah, we're going to write a really short email to Premier Dwight Ball. So get out your phones. And in the tube, so his email address is Premier. So Premier at gov.nl.ca. So that's Premier at gov.nl.ca. So you can take your liberty in writing what you want, but we do have a model here written up, so if you want to listen to that. So we have, Dear Premier Dwight Ball. Okay. The subject, hashtag Fridays for Future, hashtag climate strike, hashtag we want climate action, you choose. Climate action now. Okay. So I am writing to you from the Fridays for Future. Address, Premier at gov.nl.ca. All right, so I am writing to you from the Fridays for Future movement. The province of Newfoundland and Labrador is not doing enough as a province to combat climate change. I'll repeat that. I am writing to you from the Fridays for Future movement. The province of Newfoundland and Labrador is not doing enough to combat climate change. Today, we ask you to take a step forward. So today, we ask you to take a step forward.
Please declare a climate emergency. Please acknowledge the situation so we can have hope for our future and our province. All right? All right.
Repeat
Now
it.
again, I am reading to you from the Fridays for Future movement. The province of Newfoundland and Labrador is not doing enough to combat climate change. Today, we ask you to take a step forward. Please declare a climate emergency. Please acknowledge the situation so we can have hope for our future and our province. All right. Anything else? All right.
Where is Dwight? We want Dwight! 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 We want Dwight!
All right, I'm going to call upon our music students to come up to the stairs. You guys know who you are. We're going to have a little demonstration. So for those of you who know Tim Baker, he just released a song for Climate Strike Action Week called Only World. And we got a group of students from Our Music to sing it. So just let us take a few moments to get that set up.
Oh, I love it. That jacket is so
Thank you.